What's going on, everyone? Today I'm here to introduce you to the new Vanquish VS4-10 Chassis kit. What we have here in front of me is the assembled Vanquish Products VS4-10 Chassis kit, and this is a complete solution for an aftermarket chassis. Oftentimes when buying an aftermarket chassis, you'll find that you have to really figure out how to do a lot of things beyond just mounting up the chassis. That could include electronics trays and servo mounting, body mounting, compatible rock sliders, bumpers, a whole host of other issues that can come out from doing a chassis swap. What the VS4-10 chassis kit is aimed to do is be able to give you an option where you can easily swap a vehicle into it, and it's got everything there so that you don't have to try and figure out all of those hurdles. At the base of this kit, you'll find the same high clearance steel C-channel rails that you saw in the VS4-10 Origin Limited kit. The high clearance chassis rails that you'll find on the VS4-10 chassis allow for a lot more suspension travel versus a stock SCX-10. At the center, you'll find the same skid plate made to fit a standard 3-gear style transmission. From there though, we've got a lot of new pieces. At the front and rear of the chassis though, you'll find completely new center braces. These molded plastic center braces, both front and rear, completely fill the chassis rails to really stiffen this up and make this a very rigid chassis solution. The front still offers both a chassis mounted servo and a servo winch mounting position and an integrated winch line routing system that comes through the front bumper support. The rear chassis brace integrates in a scale style fuel cell with a removable lid and a wire routing channel. So if you want to install something inside of that fuel cell, you've got an easy channel to run wires or anything else you would like into or out of that cavity. Now, both the front and rear cross braces are also meant to hold post style bumpers, and the spacing on these posts is 43 millimeters, which is the standard measurement that you'll find on most axial bumpers or other compatible brands. Or if you're going to use bumpers that mount to the outside, the bolt spacing used both front and rear on the outside of the chassis rails is also standard, so you should be able to use almost any bumper that you've been using. To the outside of the chassis, you'll see that we still have the shock towers that mount your shocks in double shear, and the included panhard mount is black anodized aluminum. The new rock sliders on the outside of the chassis are also molded now. The outer portion of the rock slider is replaceable and also of a pretty standard length so that it will work with most bodies on the market. Or you can remove it by removing the 2 outside screws, and that outer piece is replaceable. Battery and electronics mounting positions are provided by the bent aluminum plate that mounts to the chassis as well. The battery plate will hold a full-size LiPo and keeps it nice and low just behind the front shocks, giving you a nice forward weight bias with a low center of gravity. The electronics mounting plate areas on the side have holes drilled in it to accept some aftermarket waterproof receiver boxes. The link geometry from this kit will be directly compatible with any of the SCX-10-2s that you already have. So if you want to do a very simple conversion from an SCX-10-2 over to the VS4-10 chassis kit, it will be a bolt-on situation, and I've got a full step-by-step video showing you how to do that. The only links that need to be changed when converting from an SCX-10-2 over to a VS4-10 chassis are the drag link and panhard, and those links are included. The included links are stainless steel, and they come with both rod ends and pivot balls. This kit also provides 8 pivot balls for the skid plate side of your suspension links. In case you're using plastic, the metal included pivot balls will fit into the slots of this skid plate perfectly, so you won't have any issues mounting everything up. Also included in this kit is a transmission spacer, and this is used if you are using larger brushless motors and you need to clear the rear upper link mounts. You'll see that Vanquish Velcro battery straps are included. And lastly, an assortment of body posts. This body post tree has 7 different lengths of body posts, so it should allow you to fit almost any popular body onto this chassis. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how to assemble this chassis kit, and in further videos, I'll show how to convert a stock SCX-10-2 over to this chassis kit like you see in this vehicle here. For the first step of this build, we're going to grab the front chassis brace, which includes the servo mounting, and we're going to grab the front battery tray support. We're going to insert the battery tray support in between the rear portion of the front chassis brace. With the battery tray support in place, you'll use 4 M3x10 button head screws to attach it to the front chassis brace. Next, we need to locate the rear chassis brace, the fuel cell lid, and this small fuel cell plug. This plug goes in this gap towards the front of the fuel cell lid. Put that in place and then orient the fuel cell lid so that the corresponding cutout receives the plug. To attach the fuel cell lid to the rear chassis brace, we're going to use 4 M3x10 flathead screws. In the chassis kit, there's 2 different lengths of flathead screws. All but 4 of them are 10 millimeters, and then there are 4 12 millimeter flatheads. Those are to attach the transmission through the bottom of the skid plate. So it may help speed things up for you if you locate the 4 longer flathead screws and put those aside so that you don't have to constantly search for the proper length screw. So with the front and rear chassis braces assembled, we can now attach them to the driver's side frame rail. We're going to start by attaching the rear chassis brace with 4 M3x10 socket head cap screws. You'll also need to locate the M3x6 cap head screw to install into the very front side of the rear chassis brace. Next, we'll insert the front chassis brace into the frame rail. For this step, you'll also need to locate the aluminum panhard mount to attach to the chassis and into the front chassis brace. We'll again need 4 of the M3x10 socket head screws. And additionally, we'll need 2 M3x8 socket head screws to go into the rear portion of the front chassis brace. So now with the front and rear chassis braces attached to the frame rail, we now need to locate the center skid plate and 1 of the slider bases. Use 2 M3x10 screws and go through the innermost holes on the slider base to attach this through the frame rails. Then line up the skid plate with the transmission mounting holes towards the slider base. Next, you'll need to locate the shock towers. There's 2 different styles of these, so you'll need to make sure that you have 1 of each. The shock tower is attached to the chassis with 2 M3x10 flathead screws each. Make sure that you orient the shock tower with the body post hole towards the center of the chassis. When installing the rear shock tower, there's multiple positions that you could install it on. Depending on the wheelbase of your final build, you may want to adjust this. I'm going to install this one in the position that the directions show, and this is very standard for most trucks with a wheelbase around 12.3 inches. For the last part of this step, we need to install one of the rock sliders. There is a left and a right, and these are noted with an L and an R respectively. For the driver's side, I'm going to be using the left side. These install with 2 M3x12 screws through the outside and into that slider base. For the next step, we're going to install the servo into the chassis. Now, this chassis works best with a low profile 20mm servo horn. For this Fataba servo, I'm going to use the Vanquish 25-tooth 20mm servo horn, which is part number VPS 02412. With the servo horn installed onto the servo already, pointing forward, I'm going to install it into the chassis. We'll then use 4 of these washer head style screws to attach the servo to the chassis. These screw heads are much larger than a traditional button head screw to help spread the load out on your servo ears. There's also 4 additional washer head screws included in case you want to install a servo winch. A servo winch would install here on the right side of this chassis brace, and there's an integrated guide for your winch line to go through into the front bumper area. Next, we can locate the other frame rail and install it onto the chassis. We're going to use 6 of the M3x10 socket head screws at this step. Then we can install 2 M3x8s near the front portion of the servo area. 2 more M3x8s get used at the rear of the front chassis brace. And finally, an M3x6 gets installed at the front side of the rear chassis brace. Then we need to locate the other slider base and again use 2 M3x10s at the inside holes at the bottom of this base. Again, we need to locate our other 2 shock towers. Again, just make sure that you have 1 of each version. Install the front shock tower, making sure that the body post location is towards the center of the chassis. And then install the rear shock tower, making sure to match the location that you installed the other side. Finally, locate the right side rock slider and install it onto the slider base using 2 M3x12 socket head cap screws. Next, locate this aluminum battery tray. The Velcro straps are already pre-installed onto the tray. You may want to loosen these up slightly, This will give you a little bit more room if you want to install the optional foam rubber battery stop. Remove the adhesive backing, slide it under the battery straps, and then place it as far down on the battery plate area as possible. This rubber stop will help keep your battery pushed a little bit further forward in case you have a transmission where the slipper assembly may stick further forward. Now we can take the battery tray and place it into the chassis. Then we're going to use 4 M3x10 screws to attach the bottom portion of the battery tray to the rock slider assembly. And lastly, we need to install 2 M3x10 flatheads through the battery tray portion into that front battery tray support. Now this chassis kit does not come with links. However, it does come with metal pivot balls. Now this is in the case that your chassis either has plastic pivot balls or the pivot balls that your links use are too wide. You can use these included pivot balls to fit into the link pockets perfectly. In this video, I'm not going to be actually installing links, but I'm going to use the pivot balls and put them into the link pockets to show you where they would go and what size hardware to use. Your pivot balls would need to be installed into the rod ends already, and preferably your entire links ready to be mounted to the axles. Starting with the front links, we're going to start with the uppers first. Now, this chassis is set up for a 3-link with panhard. However, this chassis does come with 8 pivot balls for this lower skid. You can use one simply as a spacer in the front upper link mount where you're not going to install a link. Both the upper and lower links use M3x20 socket head cap screws. The upper links mount through the outer holes on the slider base and into the upper link mount on the skid plate. The lower links install directly through the outside of the skid plate and do not go through the frame rail or slider base. Moving to the rear links, both the upper and lower links will all be used, and all 4 will mount with M3x20 socket head cap screws. Again, the upper links install through the outer slider base, through the frame rail, and into the upper link mounts on the skid plate. And then for the last step of the links, we've just got the rear lowers. Now this chassis does not come with links, with the exception of the front panhard and drag link. The next step is to assemble the panhard and drag link. You'll first need to press the pivot balls into the rod ends. You can then begin threading the rod ends onto the stainless steel links. Once you've started to thread the rod ends onto the links, you can use your hex drivers to help speed up the threading process. To install this link onto the chassis, you'll need to find the M3x16 screw and lock nut. Then grab the second link that you have, locate your M3x12 socket head screw, and attach it to the servo horn. At this step, you can install the transmission into the chassis kit if you choose. There is a transmission spacer included in the package to raise your transmission up slightly if you need extra clearance for the rear of the motor and the upper link mount. If you choose to use this, you can place it into the skid plate and press it into place. Attaching a transmission to the chassis is very simple, using 4 M3x14 flathead screws through the bottom of the skid plate and into your transmission housing. Following the transmission, you can also install the shocks onto your chassis. Again, 4 M3x20 screws are included to run through the shock towers and secure your shocks into place. If you have further questions on how to install links, shocks, or transmission into this chassis, I'll have additional videos showing complete conversions from other popular vehicles to the new VS4-10 chassis kit. The VS4-10 chassis kit comes with a large body post tree with all kinds of different lengths of body posts to fit whatever build you're looking to use. There's a large rear truss style body post for popular SUV style bodies, as well as varying lengths of standard body posts to pick and choose what is going to fit best for the stance that you're going for. I'm going to use a pair of flush cutters and trim these body posts off the tree and install the center 4 into the shock towers. Make sure to trim both the top and bottom of the body posts. Make sure to line up the holes of the body posts with the hole in the side of the shock tower. To secure the body post into position, use the M4 set pins that are included in the kit to lock them into place. The length of the body post and the position that you install it in is completely dependent on what body you're choosing to use and what height you plan to install that body at. 4 body clips are also included in the parts bag to go with your body posts. Now this chassis kit is also made to accept standard bumpers that use a 43mm spacing on those posts. On the bottom side of the braces, you'll find that there are holes corresponding to those bumper post locations, and M4 set pins are included to secure bumpers into place. Additionally, next to the holes by the set pins, there are holes for M3x8 socket head cap screws, and these are an interference hole to really lock the bumper into place to make sure that it's as rigid as possible. These are completely optional, and again, they're only there to help keep the bumper as rigid and secure as possible. So hopefully this video showed you guys what's included, how it goes together, and how it should help improve the performance of a base rig that you have there that you're looking to just go a little bit further with. I've got more videos coming showing you how to convert a stock Axial SCX-10-2 over to this chassis, and then beyond that I've got further videos coming showing you what else you can do with this, using other types of axles or other brands of OEM style axles, all kinds of different options you can do with a custom chassis. I'll put a link in the video description below showing you guys where to get these, or check with any of your favorite Vanquish dealers. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. Also, if you guys have combinations that you would like to see set up under a chassis like this, drop those in the comments below as well. I have a small handful of combinations already planned, but if you've got something specific you'd like to see, absolutely drop them below, and it would be interesting to see all of your guys' ideas. But with that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit that notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they pop up. Thanks for watching, as always, and we'll see you on the next one.